Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. So I am going to be giving you the list of top signings that Manchester United have to make to become Premier League champions. Now, I think one signing Manchester United have to make, and that is Jadon Sancho. Now, obviously, as you all know, Jadon Sancho is our number one priority target. Now, I gave you the news regarding Jadon Sancho this morning, and there was a lot of negativity coming out. It does actually now say that Jadon Sancho's deal to Manchester United now could be off, and talks have broken down reportedly between Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund because of Borussia Dortmund's asking price. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund have said that they do want around £108 million for the player. Obviously, it did recently say that we'd pay an initial £90 million for Jadon Sancho, and this would be paid in three annual instalments, and there would be like 18 million in add-ons based on Jadon Sancho's appearances. But throughout the course of the Jadon Sancho transfer saga, Borussia Dortmund have remained ruthless over their valuation. We've said several times we are not willing to pay what Borussia Dortmund are demanding. So it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block. Obviously, we've already promised Jadon Sancho that if he signs for Manchester United, he will be given the number 7 shirt, because I think he'll fulfill the number 7 really, really well. And we have got number 7 vacant at the moment, but we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. Don't forget, Borussia Dortmund have already set the deadline for the sale of Jadon Sancho, and they have told us that we've got until the 10th of August to sign the player. We are looking at alternatives to Sancho, because I will make an admission, he is much cheaper solutions than him. Obviously, there's been stories coming out from the Italian press today saying that we've put a €55 million bid in for Federico Chiesa from Fiorentina. €55 million equates to around 49 million in pound sterling. Also, too, we've looked at Tiago Almeida before. We've also looked at Rabbi Matondo. We've looked at Ousmane Dembele. We looked at Ferran Torres at one point. So we have looked at quite a few alternatives to Sancho. Obviously, we are very convinced that, Jadon Sancho does want to come to Manchester United. And he said it a lot of times throughout the course of the transfer saga that he wants to come to Manchester United. And like I said, Jadon Sancho reuniting in the Premier League would be very, very, beneficial for the player. And I've outlined the reasons why I want him at Manchester United is because he's well proven in the Premier League, and he's got a very, very good friendship with Rashford. And plus, he is predominantly a right winger, and Man United are in search for a right winger. Jadon Sancho has enjoyed 3 good years with Borussia Dortmund. I think this season in all competitions, Sancho scored 20 goals and provided 20 assists in like 40 odd games. And that is very, very impressive. Borussia Dortmund only paid £8 million in from Man City, so Dortmund got him for next to nothing. But analysed his performances in the few years he's been with Dortmund, his valuation has persistently grown. Sancho still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. If Sancho is sold in this summer transfer window, then Manchester City do get around £15 million due to the clause that, due to the sell-on clause that got him a move to Borussia Dortmund from Man City. The main explanation why I left Manchester City is because he did not get assured any first-team opportunities. Didn't get assured any first-team opportunities. Obviously, there were stories coming out from the German press the other week saying that we allegedly had an £89 million bid turned down for the player. Then it said just after that we agreed an initial £60 million fee with Dortmund for Jadon Sancho, and it said there'd be like £30 or £40 million in add-ons. But yeah, we had the news earlier on this week, and it was stemming from Fabrizio Romano, and Fabrizio Romano is a very reliable Italian journalist, and he said that Sancho has agreed personal terms with Manchester United. and it said that Jadon Sancho had agreed a 5-year contract at Man United worth around £250,000 a week. And it also mentioned yesterday, I think, that a fee has come to an agreement. Obviously, £108 million obviously would make him our most expensive signing and the most expensive British player in history. But if we sign Jadon Sancho, it will be the signing of the summer. Borussia Dortmund would be delighted, if Jadon Sancho did remain with them for another season at least. Dortmund did say they've come to accept the fact that he does want to leave, so Dortmund are now in the market looking for the replacement for him. Dortmund have been looking at Memphis Depay from Lyon. They've also been looking at Rashica from Werder Bremen. They've also been looking at Jonathan Eacock from Lille. But like I said to you before, Borussia Dortmund have let quite a few of their players, go in recent years. A lot of their players, who they let go went to the Premier League. Obviously, let Aubameyang go, to Arsenal a few years ago. They also let Christian Pulisic go. They also let Ilkay Gundogan go, Mkhitaryan. They let Shinji Kagawa go at one point. And there's also players that they've let go who didn't go to the Premier League, and that was Ousmane Dembele, Lewandowski, also to Matt Hummels. But there again, Dortmund have recruited quite a few players in recent years. Obviously, the other week they confirmed the signing of Jude Bellingham for around, was it £20 million? They did get Erling Haaland in January. They brought likes of Thorgan Hazard and Julian Brandt in recent years, and so too Emre Can. But I want us to get this deal over the line for Jadon Sancho. Like I said to you, I expected it to be done this Friday, and it could still be done this Friday. But if the deal goes through, I think that Sancho will be our first signing in this summer transfer window and our 5th permanent signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. I think, we don't want to pay Borussia Dortmund's valuation. I don't think we want to pay it because obviously, it is a bit too much, and Sancho, is only the age of 20. And plus, we don't want to make the same mistake as what we did with Alexis Sanchez. Now, obviously, there's been positive news coming out regarding Alexis Sanchez. Obviously, he's going to be joining Inter Milan permanently. Obviously, we haven't demanded a fee for him because Sanchez is going to be going to Inter Milan on a free. He did say that Sanchez is going to sign a 3-year contract with Inter Milan. So he'll be under contract with them till 2023. And I think Inter Milan are going to pay around £125,000 a week to Sanchez after tax. But I'm just glad, we're getting rid of him permanently, because it will free up our wage bill completely. During Sanchez's loan spell with Inter Milan throughout the course of the season, we were still paying the vast majority of his wages. We were still paying him, £300,000 a week, and Inter Milan were paying like £150,000 a week. He's done well recently, though, for Inter Milan, to be fair, as Sanchez. Don't forget he was out with injury for a while. Obviously had that dislocated ankle, and he was out for a good 3 months. But Sanchez's wages at Manchester United were £400,000 a week, potentially rising up to £500,000 a week based on the image rights and the bonuses. And Sanchez did still have a contract at Man United till 2022. And he did endure a difficult 18 months at Manchester United. Don't forget, we got Sanchez in a swap deal, with Mkhitaryan back in 2018, yeah. And we thought he'd have exceeded the expectations, but obviously, he didn't. And Solskjaer did actually, recently say he'd like Sanchez back at the club, but Sanchez is refusing to return to the football club. So, yeah, that's positive news regarding Alexis Sanchez and that. But we obviously, are known for overpaying for players. Obviously, as it stands at this moment in time, Paul Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. Obviously, we paid, £80 million for Harry Maguire. Don't forget, we did pay £75 million for Lukaku. We paid £50 million for Bissaka. We paid £50 million for Fred. We also paid £40 million for Matic. So we are definitely known for overpaying for players. But, I still think, there's a chance that, Manchester United will sign Jadon Sancho. He did actually, recently say that Jadon Sancho prefers a move to Liverpool over Manchester United. Also to Chelsea were in for him before, don't forget. But we're the club now we're the only club now that are in for Sancho. So that's one signing Manchester United must make. But Sancho is a player that can create chances, is a player that can score goals. His runs on and off the ball are very, very good. And with Jadon Sancho in the team, obviously, he's going to make us a lot more clinical in front of goal. I presume that Mason Greenwood will be used as a backup if we do recommend Sancho into the football club. So I just want to confirm that with you guys. By the way, Borussia Dortmund are working with Aubameyang and Ousmane Dembele's agent over talks regarding Jadon Sancho. So there you go. So yeah, that's the news on that. I think another player Manchester United must sign, and that is Jack Grealish from Aston Villa. Now, I did say to you, didn't I, there's a chance that Jack Grealish could stay at Aston Villa for at least another season, because Aston Villa obviously survived relegation. I said to you though, didn't I, if Aston Villa would have got relegated, then I would have assured that Jack Grealish would have left them. Now, the stories coming out regarding Jack Grealish is that reportedly we are planning to put a late bid in for the player. We do know how much Jack Grealish is going to cost, because obviously Aston Villa have already revealed their asking price. Villa have said that they do want £80 million. It's also said that Aston Villa have offered Jack Grealish a £100,000 a week contract, £100,000 a week contract. And reportedly, if he signs this new contract, he will be under contract of Aston Villa to 2025. At the moment, his current contract of Aston Villa runs until 2023, and he is on around £70,000 a week. So maybe Grealish, will sign this contract. Up until this point, Jack Grealish has spent the entirety of his career with Villa. He has been a Villa player since the age of 6, and he has been in their senior squad since 2014, but since then has become an integral part of their team. Obviously, City have been in for Grealish before. Obviously, Tottenham came close to getting him in the summer of 2018. But I'd take Grealish at Man United, and the main explanations I'd take him is because, again, proven in the Premier League, versatility very, very good, and he's only at the age of 24. But £80 million is a lot of money for Grealish. I think he's probably worth around maybe £40 or £50 million. Also, another signing Man United must make, and that is Raul Jimenez. I think definitely Raul Jimenez would dramatically improve us now. Obviously, there was stories coming out the other week from the Portuguese press saying that Raul Jimenez was on his way to Manchester United, because it had said that Wolves had found their replacement for Jimenez. It said they'd agreed to get Paulinho from Braga for around £27 million. And obviously, Jorge Mendes has been working with Wolves, for quite some time now. And he's been in the process of trying to get Wolves at replacement. Now, like I said to Raul Jimenez would cost us around £60 or £70 million. Wolves would want to get more than what they paid for him. Wolves did pay around £34 million to get him permanently last year, was it? Because he was on loan with Wolves, but reflecting how good he did on his loan spell, Wolves decided to get him permanently. Raul Jimenez has got a contract with Wolves until 2023, and he is the age of 29. I give you the main explanations why I'd take Raul Jimenez at Man United. Well proven in the Premier League, hold-up player, very, very good. And he's also a player that can score goals. He can also create chances, and I think he would complement our attacking line. If we sign Raul Jimenez, then I think he definitely would be our next number 9, but I'm sceptical that we'll sign Jimenez, but I think, it would be very, very good if Manchester United did sign him. Before he was at Wolves, he was at Benfica. To be honest, we weren't too good at Benfica. Before that, he was at Atletico Madrid, and obviously, before that, he was in America's youth system and that. But I think actually Raul Jimenez is happy at Wolves. Obviously, Juventus have recently been in for him. I heard recently that they've put around a £72 million bid in for the player. There's obviously a lot of United fans as well talking about Harry Kane from Tottenham now. I think definitely Harry Kane would make us title contenders, but I'm just very sceptical that we'll get Harry Kane on the board because obviously, Harry Kane is far too expensive. We've first expressed our interest in Harry Kane back in 2015 under the Louis van Gaal era and went in for him earlier on this season, but Tottenham did say they'd want a world record fee of £200 million for Kane. I think Kane's a very, very good player. He's won the Golden Boot a few times with Tottenham. I think he's Tottenham's third highest goal scorer in their history. Scored around 143 Premier League goals for Tottenham. He has got a contract with Tottenham until 2024. But he has been at Tottenham for several years, and I think he's been in their senior squad since 2011. But I don't see us, getting Harry Kane. I think another player that Manchester United have to sign, and that is Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. Again, I think we have to sign him, but I don't think we are going to sign him. I'm very, very sceptical that Kalidou Koulibaly will come in. Napoli's president did come out recently and say that Napoli, do want around £81 million if they are to do business with Kalidou Koulibaly. Obviously, we're in for him. Liverpool have been in for him. Manchester City, of course, have been in for him before. We've been in for Kalidou Koulibaly for a long time. I think we've had a few bids turned down for him before. But there you go. So I think, these are the players, that Manchester United must sign if we are to become Premier League champions and that. These are the players, we must sign. But Solskjaer, did say that, he wants to make at least 3 signings in this summer transfer window. Ed Woodward, I think, said he wants to make around 3. He wants Man United to make around 3 or 4 signings in this summer transfer window and that. Because obviously, Solskjaer has identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. Because there's still deficiencies in the squad where Man United definitely need to strengthen up. But big decisions have got to be made in this summer transfer window of obviously, what players we're going to recommend in. And not only that, what players we are going to get rid of. I think, we're going to be competitive in this summer transfer window because, like I said, we've got qualification for the Champions League. We also finished 3rd. Don't forget as well, we progressed to 2 semi-finals this season. That was the EFL Cup semi-final and the FA Cup semi-final. And I think that's a good achievement, to be honest with you, because let's put into the equation, this was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season at the football club. And obviously, we was very, very poor earlier on in the season. Earlier on in the season, we enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season. And at that point, Solskjaer was close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. But I think the big test for Solskjaer is definitely next season. Because next season, it's going to be his second full season at the club. And obviously, he's going to have bigger expectations to exceed. Obviously, I said next season our expectations will be to challenge for the title. We've got to spend money to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. But like I said to you before, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. Our transfer budget has already been revealed. Solskjaer has got around £140 million to spend. Do you think £140 million is enough to get the players that we want in? Maybe we can get around 2 players with £140 million. It did confirm before the resumption of the season that we had taken a £140 million loan anyway to help us get the players that we do want in and that. But after we got qualification for the Champions League, Solskjaer had outlined his plans. And he's obviously, instructed our board to go out there and get his preferred targets. I think the summer transfer window has been open now. Is it a week or nearly a week? Signings have already been made. I've got to say Manchester City have done some good recruitment so far. They got Nathan Ake from Bournemouth. I don't know if it's official yet, though. I think they're going to get him for £41 million. City have just confirmed the signing of Ferran Torres, and I think they also signed someone else. Chelsea, they've done good recruitment so far. They signed Ziyech back in February for around 37 mil, I think it was. They signed Timo Werner for around £48 million. And Chelsea obviously looking to get Havertz, and they're also looking to get Ben Chilwell. Liverpool, they'll want to make a couple of signings to continue their dominance up. I heard that Liverpool are on the brink of making their first signing in this summer transfer window. I don't know, unless they're going to do any recruitment. Are Tottenham going to do any recruitment in that? Are Arsenal going to do any recruitment? We shall see. We have got to recruit correctly in this summer transfer window, but Solskjaer has told the board to back him. He's also told Ed Woodward to back him, and he's also told the Glazers to back him. That this summer transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fourth transfer window as Manchester United manager. So far at the football club, Solskjaer has spent just over £200 million. Like I mentioned to you guys on my video that I did this morning, Man United need to put Dean Henderson as number one for next season. I think Dean Henderson has issued a warning to Man United and is set to have showdown talks with Solskjaer. If Dean Henderson is not assured to be our number one for next season, then, Dean Henderson said that he does want to leave the football club. Now, I think Dean Henderson's enjoyed 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. And I've got to say, he has been Sheffield United's player of the season. He's had quite a few other loan spells as well with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. We got Dean Henderson back in 2011 from Carlisle. We did get him at the age of 14. It still says that Chelsea try to get him, because they want to get Dean Henderson to replace Kepa Arrizabalaga. It said the other week that Chelsea are willing to more than double his wages. Obviously, it said from Sky Sports that we have been in contract negotiations with Dean Henderson, and it says that we're looking to get him a 5-year contract at the football club. But we've got to make Dean Henderson as number one for next season, because I think now he's got that experience behind him. De Gea, like I said, he's been our number one for several years. But now I think he's a liability. And I think De Gea has been a liability in the last couple of years for Man United. Like I've said before, De Gea's had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at the club. De Gea is now approaching his 10th year at Manchester United. And De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club. And he has won individual awards. De Gea has made 404 appearances for Manchester United in all competitions. I don't think we'll sell him in this summer transfer window, but we need to take him out of that number one. We really, really do. We really, really do. And David De Gea is on 375,000 at Man United because he did sign a 4-year deal last September. But when De Gea does leave Man United anyway, I think he will go back to Spain. I really, really do. So we need to put Dean Henderson as number one in that. Like I said, we're going to get rid of at least 7 players in this summer transfer window. We're going to get rid of quite a lot of players permanently. Obviously, we're on the brink of getting rid of Sanchez permanently, like I mentioned. I'm hopeful that we can get rid of Jesse Lingard. I think, we'll try and get rid of Andrews Pereira, because obviously Andrews Pereira isn't getting in the team enough, is he? He's found game time hard since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes. Smalling, we know that he's not going to go now because obviously he's returned to Manchester United because Roma failed to extend his loan. Obviously, I'm hopeful we can get rid of Rojo permanently. He's been out on loan at Estudiantes. Hopefully, we can get rid of Phil Jones. I'm hopeful we can get rid of Diego Dalot because obviously, Diego Dalot is not good enough to represent Manchester United. He only made 1 start in the Premier League this season, But he had a few injuries earlier on this season. We did get Diego Dalot, don't forget, in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. We did pay £19 million in from Porto. And, Dalot has got a contract with the football club until 2023. He has to get rid of him. Some United fans will say, we should sell Juan Mata in this summer transfer window. Because obviously, Mata doesn't get in the team a lot now anyway. Juan Mata's enjoyed 6 years at Manchester United. But when he gets his chance, he still does make an impact. We got him in 2014 from Chelsea, don't forget. We paid just under £40 million for the player. I think we'll also look to get rid of Joe Pereira permanently because he's out on loan with Hearts. I think when Dean Henderson's recalled as well, we'll think about getting rid of Sergio Romero. Obviously, Sergio Romero tends to play in our cup games. We're also going to loan some players out as well, aren't we? We're going to loan some players out. I I heard that, we could be loaning James Garner out, we could be loaning Dylan Levitt out, we could be loaning Tahith Chon out, because obviously, they're finding game time very, very difficult. I think, to be honest with you, we should loan Tuan Zebe and Fossa Mensah out, because, they don't get in the team enough. If we sign Sancho, I think, Daniel James will be loaned out. Daniel James, for the vast majority of the season, obviously, got a hell of a lot of starts, but towards the end of the season, he wasn't getting starts. Mason Greenwood was getting there ahead of him and that. So Man United, I think are going to loan some players out. Like I said, Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now over a year and a half. And I've taken positives from his tenure so far. Like I've said, our recruitment's really, really improved under him, because we have been criticised for several years, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. I think Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well throughout the course of the season. Like I said, Solskjaer's approach to the big games throughout the course of the season were very, very good. And, we took around, was it 18 or 19 points against the top 6 sides throughout the course of the season. So that's very, very good. Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the club as well. Also, too, a lot of players' contracts have been extended since Solskjaer came in. But, we still got around these 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. So we have got to make a decision on those 8 players. So there's definitely no positives to take. And I think, we've seen an upturn in form since January, haven't we? We haven't lost in the league since, the 2-0, 2-0 against Burnley at Old Trafford back in January. We haven't lost since then. So we haven't beaten in our last 14 Premier League games. Don't forget as well, went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until Chelsea had beaten us in the FA Cup semi-final. Like I said, throughout the course of the season, Solskjaer did make a lot of rotation, but that was obviously reflects on the injuries that Man United had. But don't forget, there was a period where Solskjaer went with the exact same team for 5 games in a row in the Premier League, and that was the first time since February 1993 that Manchester United had done that. Don't get me wrong, there's still improvements needed at the club. We've got to be more clinical in front of goal. I think we need to keep the ball better. We need to be better on the flanks. I think, defensively we do need to improve. Maybe there's certain players that still need to improve at Manchester United. But there you go. But like I said, I'm just delighted that Solskjaer did prove his critics wrong earlier on in the season. Because obviously, we was very, very critical of him earlier on in the season. But there's been problems at the club for several years, not only with, the managers that we've had in the last 7 years. There's been cultural problems. There've been a lot of problems with the club's board. There's been a lot of problems, with the club's ownership, the Glazers. There's been a lot of problems with Ed Woodward as well, because we don't like the way the football club's been run in the last 7 years. There has been problems with certain players as well over the years. Obviously, likes of Pogba, Rashford, Martial and Shaw, they all endured difficult times under the Jose Mourinho era, but to be fair, look much better now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So there has been a lot of problems at the football club for the last 7 years. But in the last 7 years, we've had different managers with different philosophies, haven't we? And in the last 7 years, we've only managed to win 3 trophies. And that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho. But in our history, we've won 45 trophies. But obviously, 38 of them trophies came under the Alex Ferguson era. Ferguson obviously, endured 27 years at Man United and endured over 20 odd years of success. But don't forget, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. But I still don't know if Solskjaer is the foreseeable future for Man United. Time will tell. But I'm hopeful that we can get our 21st title under him. Because we have won 20 titles at the moment and 13 of them are Premier League. So we are the most successful team in Premier League history. We've got last tonight in the Europa League. Last 16, second leg at Old Trafford. Obviously, Solskjaer says, Man United winning the Europa League would be the next step forward. The Europa League is a priority for us because obviously, if we win the Europa League, it will be our first trophy under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Solskjaer isn't taking any risks. He said during his press conference yesterday that he is not going to rest any key players throughout this Europa League campaign. I think Solskjaer will make changes tonight. Don't get me wrong, he will make changes. I think, he's going to give, the youngsters their chances tonight. Tiedemann Mengi, if I've pronounced his name right, could be given his full debut. Obviously, likes of... What's his name? Is it Ethan Galbraith or something like that? James Garner, Tahith Chon, Ethan Laird, he could also be involved in the game. But we saw a lot of my youngsters, making their full Europa League debuts in the group stage, and one of them was Angel Gomez, but obviously Angel Gomez has now left the club. We know for tonight that obviously, Tuan Zebi isn't available, like Solskjaer's confirmed. Luke Shaw isn't available either. I think they're going to be back for the new season. And also too, Phil Jones is out. But Solskjaer just said, look, we are 4 games away from winning a trophy. We're 5 up against last from the first leg. But I think he's going to go with a similar team to as he did do in the first leg. I think Ighalo should be starting. Juan Mata should be starting tonight as well. Andres Pereira could start. Solskjaer's also confirmed Jesse Lingard will be starting. But we'll see how he lines up. We will. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.